Well, yeah, Pika, it's a little dusty in here. And it's springtime, so we're going to do some spring cleaning. I got a HEPA filter for the room. In Boston, you get a HEPA filter in your air purifier. Where else can you say that? Pre-recorded live before a studio audience of my stuffed animals from our Boston studios. It's time to take a coffee break here at our comics coffee table. Say that 3 times fast, Sully. No, thank you. I'll sip this 3 times fast and scald my tongue. Hot cup of coffee. Delicious. And I hope that you are running your day and your challenges and not being run by them. And I hope you are able to take a break in your busy day and take your mind off your mind off your work, your mind off your troubles. You can leave the real world's problems over there, pull up a chair, sit beside us, grab a cup of whatever it is you're shoving under your nose today there, pal. Maybe you brought some snacks, some little cookies. I like cheesecake, pie. I love pie. Apple pie, cherry pie, lemon meringue pie, custard pie. No, I don't have to keep going on. Pie is good. So is this cuppa. But yes, join us, please. Oh. Hey. Nope. No copyright strike. I'm pitch perfect. The algorithm would confuse poor old little me with someone trying to shamelessly steal someone else's music. Huh? Too much trouble to put music. I hope you enjoy the lo-fi, low fidelity, unedited, unfiltered, unscripted. Yes, we use Pika's show notes. Yes, we have show notes. My executive producer, Pika, he works tirelessly on production notes, on where to take the show, marketing, crossovers with other, media. Pika's a mover and a shaker. He's the real spark plug behind the show. Drinka, as you know, is my union cameraman and boom mic operator. Yeah, exactly. Don't bother him. He's on his union break. That's Jay the Canadian Bear, the studio audience. Filmed pre-recorded live, before a studio audience of stuffed animals from our Boston studios. I think that just sounds funny, man. Like classic television. We are rebagging, reboarding, reboxing my entire collection. Along the line, I'm getting a ballpark estimate of what my funny book accumulation is worth, and getting an eye for grading. So these are the Overstreet comic book price guide and the guide to grading comics. This is a solid recommendation from a comic book YouTuber, and these are great sources of information. Now, just to let you know that this show is made for entertainment and educational purposes only. If you have questions and concerns about the value or condition of your comic book, of your floppy, bring it to your local comic book shop. And while you here comes shameless messaging, advocacy, activism, platforming. I'm using I'm platforming. This is what I'm using. I'm using my platform. I'm actively an apostle and an evangelist of going back to your local comic book shop. I need new supplies. Chances are you do too, especially since I'm reboarding, rebagging, reboxing my entire collection. I am getting my supplies at my local comic book shop, at the brick and mortar mom and pop shop who needs our patronage the most. I could be getting these supplies from my online supply chain, the one with the free shipping and the built-in movie network, at a discount with free shipping, did I mention? But no, I agree to pay the markup at retail because it helps keep my LCS in business and open, especially after lockdown 2020 took a complete chunk out of the entire, locally, family-owned business, paradigm of America. We need to, if you might have a chain comic book shop too. There ain't nothing wrong with that, of course. Geez, I got New England Comics around here. They're one of the best. They're great to go to, and then there are independent comic book shops, just people who are book shop owners. They're bookshops, bookstores, local bookstores. Spend your money there. We make our choices where to spend our money. Are we gonna go get the big box stores at the mall, or can we use our power of choice and redistribute our personal wealth and to where we choose and think it needs it the most? So yeah, that's my spiel. I want you to be picking up your supplies at your local comic book shop. I'm getting my boxes, my acid-free boards, and my bags there. And like I said, yes, I'm paying the markup. I could definitely... Am I naive for doing that? I don't feel so. I think that my intention transcends any kind of naivete that's like, oh, well, you could get this for cheaper if you did, I could, yeah, I know. But how's that going to keep my beloved local comic book shop open? These are the choices we make. Yes, namaste. And this is a great example of why I am rebagging, reboarding, and reboxing my entire collection. Because it simply needs it. There's a husbandry involved in having any kind of collection. And I love the word husbandry. And I hope it pisses off the right people. Or actually literally the left people. Huh? No, don't. See, that's poking bears. And that's just weaponizing words. Husbandry. It's a word. The care, cultivation, cultivation and breeding of crops and animals. The management and conservation of resources. Yeah, and it's steeped in the patriarchy with the blah, 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 blah. Whatever. It's a great word. Mothering's a good word too. It can be, and when used, positively, I guess. But yeah, look at this long box. It's a little dinged up. Nah, this isn't gonna ding. Dings are reserved for floppies, not for long boxes. See, it's stained. That means it's protected its contents from within, and like this corner's blown out too, huh? And so this is over a decade. This long box got to be. I probably started it about 15 years ago. More than 10, less than 15. Just to corral all of these loose floppies that I got, laying around. No. You need to put them somewhere. You need to put them into long boxes. And they need, for the most part, they all need packing boards. Oh, I love issues number 0. Look at this. It's Mayday. Isn't this great? It's the amazing Spider-Girl. From something called the MC2, the Marvel Universe. Was it MC2? Marvel Comics 2? Let me see. MC2 Comics. Marvel Comics 2. I'm reading this from. You guessed it. The Wiki. Great. Marvel Comics 2 is an imprint from Marvel Comics, whose books depicted an alternate future timeline for the Marvel Universe. The imprint was spun off from the events of What If number 105, February of 1998, which was the first appearance of the character Spider-Girl, Spider-Man's daughter from an alternate future. This Earth has been designated as Earth 982 in the mighty Marvel multiverse. Yes, the MC2 universe was conceived of by writer-editor Tom DeFalco as set as in a possible alternate future for the Marvel universe set in the present day, with the first appearances of most Marvel heroes having taken place 15 years earlier than in main continuity. The goal of the line was to produce comic books that were more accessible to a wider audience than Marvel's main line of books and weren't entrenched in years of continuity. And this was later, MCU was later replaced with the Ultimate Marvel imprint, which that started in 2000, and with Marvel Team Up and Ultimate Spider-Man. Ultimate Spider-Man #1 started in the year 2000. Ultimate Spider-Man #1 started in September, cover date of September of 2000, and ran for 11 years, 160 issues up till June 2011. And where did that go? Yeah, the MC2. So yeah, this is Mayday Parker, the daughter of Peter and Mary Jane. Hello. Total eclipse of my screen. Oh, that would be a partial eclipse, you know. Partial eclipse of the screen. Turn around, bright eyes. Oh. But yeah, so this is their daughter, Mayday, and I like the opening. Look at this opening here. Writer is Tom DeFalco, based on What If #105. There's Spider-Girl #0 through 100, Spider-Girl Half, and Spider-Girl 1999 Annual. This is the Amazing Spider-Girl #0. So this contains just so it's a 0 issue. So instead of making a new tale, you know, it's got reprints of old tales. You know, it's like, Dear Diary, my name is May Parker, though everyone calls me Mayday, a name I picked up from my basketball days. I have a secret, a bunch of them actually, and decided to keep an official record of my life. I guess I should start at the beginning, on the day my whole life changed and I discovered I was the daughter of Spider-Man. That's so cool. This is really awesome. So this reprint contains material originally published in magazine form of What If 105, Spider-Girl. So this is copyright. So this came out in 2006. Am I reading that right? I'm taking that as from the last copyright date. Yeah, huh? That's great. I love 0 issues. So yeah, this just basically reprints a lot of old stuff. See, it's told in a diary form. Love her black costume. And yeah, it's just basically, and I would say that this is an info drop version of the 0 issue. So this is just all, you know, and like it could have used more production stuff too, like behind the scenes, like production sketches. You know, that would make it that this type of 0 issue. Now the other type of 0 issue is telling a story. It's a regular comic book. This doesn't really read like a regular comic book. This was interesting. This was just Fantastic Four by JMS and Mike McCone. Oh. The Bendis Malieve Daredevil on the Marvel Ultimate Knights imprint. We're going to talk about that. Yeah, let's talk about. We haven't talked about Marvel Knights yet, have we? Okay. Like, you know, I love, like, and remember, Bendis was everywhere then. Oh, I love the New Avengers. The New Avengers was the outlaw superhero Avenger team that were inspired by Captain America. See, he was kind of dead by then. He was just unstuck in time. Uh, but yeah. I must have New Avengers 1 here somewhere. And Spider-Man was one of the New Avengers because he was on the run. Was this like knee deep in the one more year? I mean, one more day. This is June when? Because I was reading a lot of Amazing Spider-Man when I came back, especially the J. Michael Straczynski, John Romita Jr. stuff. John Romita Jr. He's been a constant on Amazing Spider-Man for 40 years, coming back and forth to it. This Mike Diodato art's amazing there. Yeah, well, here's some Amazing Spider-Man and some Dan Slott. Slotto Bloctavius, as we all call him on the information superhighway. Someone that just pathologically hates the people he writes for. Starting here with Big Time here. I mean, I loved this thing. I loved Spidey alternate costumes. This was fun when Dan Slott wrote a darn good story. He also the Superior Spider-Man wasn't a hit or a miss for me. It was more of like it was just like a base on balls, or maybe just an infield hit. You know what I mean? Just legged it out into a single. But yeah, this is Big Time. And this is why. Look at this Spider-Man. I love that Spider-Man. I love Humberto Ramos's art. I got to tell him to shake his hand and say, "You draw one of my favorite Spider-Men," along with Mike Zeck and the Romitas, or John Romita Sr., John Romita Jr. This great splash page. Look at that, Big Time. And when Spider-Man becomes, he gets hired as Peter Parker for his genius. This is January 2011. Spider-Man 648. I've also burned a couple of these. It's famous. I'll leave it at the end of the video. Check it out. When I found out that Dan Slott had blocked me on Twitter for nothing interpersonal, just for simply the fact that I follow creators that he doesn't like. I mean, I was put on a list and I was taken care of like the deplorable I am, huh? I'm some kind of enemy to this person, that have unpersoned. I don't matter. Well, it's his personal Twitter account as well. And remember, he's not an employee of Disney Marvel per se. He's a contract employee. It's like there are two different standards for Disney employees and for these contract employees. With Ike Perlmutter being fired and Marvel Comics now being completely enveloped into Disney's, perhaps things will change. I mean, how am I supposed to buy a Dan Slott magazine and resist the urge to burn these ones? I mean, I wouldn't burn these. This is Humberto Ramos art. This is the Sonar suit. So Spidey gets to work for some like kind of Bill Gates or Elon Musk, and he gets to express his his natural genius as the future Dr. Peter Parker. Why he's not Dr. Peter Parker yet? Why hasn't Peter graduated from graduate school? Why isn't he a PhD? Is he? I mean, like that. I mean, whatever with like what's going on with Zeb Wells on his ASM run. I mean, why isn't Peter Parker? Shouldn't he be a PhD by now? I think so. Stefano Caselli took over for a few issues at the end of Big Time. And then Ramos comes back for a little bit. Here's the other one. I forget which suit this was, but Slott was just saying, hey, here's a new suit. New suits make new action figures. And when was this? 2012. So this is ASM 656. And here, boom. This is a great excuse for, yeah, the Horizon. That's who Peter works for. And this is a great excuse for an info dump page. So here we have, you're in DC Colophone, May of 2011. Ben Urich, editor-in-chief of the Daily Bugle. You know? We have an info dump here of like what's going on. I like this kind of page. It'll just catch you up. PDQ, pretty darn quick. Yeah, and here we go. Some Spider-Man alternate suits. I love Spider-Man alternate suits. I really do. They're really cool in the video games too, I think. But yeah, I've been a Spider-Man fan all my life. It goes back to Electric Company. What is Electric Company? Well, Electric Company was a 1970s children's show. Let's see. Where is the wiki? Wiki! Here we go. I grew up on this. The Electric Company is an American educational children's television series produced by the Children's Television Workshop, CTW, now known as Sesame Workshop. It was co-created by Paul Dooley, Joan Gans-Cooney, and Lloyd Morissette. The series aired on PBS, Public Broadcasting Service, for 780 episodes over the course of its 6 seasons, from October 25th, 1971 to April 15th, 1977. The program continued reruns until October 4th, 1985. And it had a Spider-Man segment. And the Spider-Man segment was it was live action, but it's Spidey Super Stories, short pieces debuting during season 4 and featuring Spider-Man, played by Danny Seagren, from 1974 to 1977. Foiling petty criminals, Spidey was never seen out of costume as his alter ego, Peter Parker, and he spoke in speech balloons, so everyone, for the audience to read. And there was a Marvel comic spin-off comic book, Super Spidey Stories. That ran from 1974 to 1981. So Spidey had Marvel Team Up, ASM, Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, and Super Spidey Stories. Spidey had 4 magazines, 4 publications, from the mid-70s to like the early 80s. That's impressive. Yeah, it seems that Spidey's always had, the money. Marvel does that. Marvel is like, that's big thing at Marvel. Like, oh, there's, how many Star Wars titles there are? And there are several Spider-Man stories around. Oh, man. But yeah, so remember, Bendis was everywhere. I love these new Avengers. Lionel Yu, what a nice guy. I got to meet him at the convention. His line was pretty long, so I got to say hi to him in a break. What's up with Stephen Strange getting killed all the time, huh? Look at this. This is a great evocative cover. This is Lionel Yu mimicking Frank Miller and Klaus Johnson in the famous Bullseye Kills Elektra. And that's Echo killing Elektra. But remember, okay, so Marvel Knights. Where's the Marvel Knights stuff? Okay. Because I found this in there. Okay, I got. And I'm like, where did the other ones go? Where are they? I gotta get them then. I need to hustle them down. I need to hustle down 3 more issues. Actually, 4. This is Wolverine, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. I got parts 2, 3, and 4. So I need 1, 5, and 6. I love this Steranko cover. But we have John Romita Jr. and Klaus Janson doing this. And when I was at the Wicked Boston Con a little while back, I found these in a $1 bin, bagged and board as well, for $1 each. All I need is part 6 now. And then once again, this creative team of Mark Miller, John Romita Jr. on pencils, and Klaus Johnson on inks ran for 12 issues. It started Wolverine, Enemy of the State, and finished as Wolverine, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Great year-long run. Very good stuff. And what I love the most about it, it was just that the inking was so evocative of his own work with Frank Miller back with Daredevil. It just, I love that look. So this is, let's look at some comic books. That's what we're here for. Here's our previously in Wolverine. Dun, dun, dun. August of 2005. I like it. I like when comics Wolverine they address his actual height, his canonical height. Hand ninjas, dude. We've got hand ninjas. So we got these fight scenes with Wolverine versus the hand ninjas. And doesn't that just like look like some Frank Miller stuff? Because Klaus Johnson is basically Frank Miller's inker all that time. Wonderful stuff. Oh, wow. These are good funny books. But what was Marvel Knights, though? I mean, we dropped by issue 29. It's the Marvel Knights thing has been dropped. It's issue 28. No MK, okay? But part one of this series, you have Marvel MK right up here with a rating system. We're going to get to that in a second. So see the trade dress up here. We see the switch from its conventional trade dress of Marvel Knights, which then becomes, between issues 23 and 24, into that Marvel MK mark there. What is Marvel Knights? Marvel Knights is awesome. Not to be confused with Marvel Max. Marvel Max was happening around the same time. These are imprints. So we're talking about some Marvel imprints. Marvel takes chances within its own scope of publication. The MC2, an alternate future, told street level at that future date with this new generation of superheroes who are the inheritors and inheritrixes of legacy. And it worked then. There was Marvel Max, which was an imprint of Marvel Comics, where you guessed it, I'm reading this from the wiki, specializing in comic book media aimed at adult-only readers. It was launched in 2001 after Marvel broke with the Comics Code Authority seal of approval, and Marvel established its own rating system. The Marvel Comics rating system is a rating system for the content of comic books with regards to appropriateness for different age groups. We knew about the appropriatenesses of different age groups way back in 2001. That was only 22 years ago. A generation has passed. And so, this takes into consideration appropriateness. So they knew they had a few different audiences, and they were reaching me. 20 years ago, I was, a 30-year-old man getting back into buying these comic books. But Marvel Knights, I like their story because I forgot about this part of the story. From the wiki, there we go. Marvel Knights is an imprint of Marvel Comics that contains standalone material taking place inside the Marvel Universe, Earth 616, the terra firma of Marvel Universe. The imprint originated in 1998 when Marvel outsourced 4 titles: Black Panther, Punisher, Daredevil, and Inhumans to Joe Quesada and Jimmy Palmiotti's company, Event Comics. Event hired the creative teams for the Night lines, KNIGHTS line, while Marvel published them. Event Comics was an American independent comic book publisher founded by veteran artists Jimmy Palmiotti and Joe Quesada. The company published during the years 1994 to 1999, at which point it was contracted to form the Marvel Knights imprint for Marvel Comics. In 1998, Marvel had just filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy and asked Quesada and Palmiotti to do work for Marvel in a more exclusive capacity, and contracted them and their Event Comics partners to produce a line of Marvel books dubbed Marvel Knights. As editors of Marvel Knights, Quesada and Palmiotti worked on a number of low-profile characters such as Daredevil, Punisher, the Inhumans, and Black Panther, encouraging experimentation and using their contacts in the independent world to bring in creators such as David Mack, Mike Emming, Brian Michael Bendis, Garth Ennis, and Steve Dillon. Quesada himself also illustrated a Daredevil story written by film director Kevin Smith, and with Palmiotti inking the title book. And that was Daredevil Guardian Devil. And that is where he ruthlessly has Karen Page killed. But there's a very moving moment at the end of it between him and Spider-Man on top of one of the New York bridges, where they're talking about personal loss and love and going on and finding it. And it was it had the feels. It gave me tears in my eyes. It was one of the first comics I came back to. And it was such a joy to read Kevin Smith, who I'm a big fan. I'm a huge fan of Kevin Smith's work. And so eventually, in 2000, 2.5 years after starting Marvel Knights, Joe Quesada was named the editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics. And so in early 2006, Quesada announced that all ongoing titles under the Marvel Knights banner would move to the Marvel Universe imprint, and that Marvel Knights would contain high-profile limited series after that. And Marvel Knights. I forgot about the whole angle of, contracting out to Quesada and Palmiotti after the bankruptcy. And then after the bankruptcy, that's when, like Perlmutter and Toys saved Marvel. And then a decade later came the sale to Disney. And so we can see that these are the lines, the sea change, and the strata and the rocks. You know what I mean? Where did it stop being superhero stories and start becoming corporate intellectual properties? At this dividing line between the 20th and 21st centuries. Yeah, that's where I feel that's where the Copper Age should end. The Copper Age should be moved up, the end of it, from 1992 to 2000, and we should have a clean break at the 21st century. I don't know. That's what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the live chat. Thank you so much for hanging out today. We've been talking about comic books, and we're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year, so tune in tomorrow, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern, and we'll find out who we're talking about when we turn the page tomorrow. Please like and subscribe. I would love to earn your subscription. Click on that button, ring that bell, turn on those notifications, and take a daily break with us here at the Comics Coffee Table. Thank you so very much. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. And we will see you again tomorrow in those funny pages. Ciao. Bye-bye.